Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of Bayard's Football Takes. This episode, we would have our usual weekend review, and we have a special guest in the house. To give honor to whom is due, Madrid fan, Champions League powerhouse. You have to respect them. Some people they've not won it before, so they have to kiss the ring.
Can we focus?
I've won it before, so I know how it feels to be a winner in Europe. Then we'll have our usual weekend preview. So, Binana, what's happening? What's happening?
No,
How you feel?
I'm sitting nice. Once it's still at the top of the table, 11 games to go. I mean, life is pretty good now. Tomorrow we play Sporting. We'll knock them out, move on to the quarterfinals of Europa. So, I mean, for Arsenal fans worldwide, this is what a time to be alive. After 11 league games, I mean, also Gabriel Jesus is back. We've been vindicated. I told you when after the January transfer window that getting Trossard, I was happier with that deal going through than getting Mudryk. And you laughed at me. Who is laughing now?
I don't laugh at you. Stop misquoting me. I did not laugh at you. I was more pained that you guys got. So the thing is, either of the two players will have been a hit for you guys. So it's not matter of or Trossard.
I still maintain that Trossard is the better signing. I'm even vindicated. But that's besides the point. I mean, and we just battered Fulham, another London derby win. So I feel good. I was in Houston this past weekend. It was nice there. So yeah, man.
I have a question for you though.
Yeah,
when last did you guys win the league?
These are irrelevant. You ask me how I'm feeling right now. Why are we focused on the past? Did you hear me asking you when last you won the league? Because let's focus on here and now. This season that we are in. Are you going to win the league? That's
my question. Definitely not winning the league. We're not winning the league. I've told you. I'm about to celebrate. We're not going to relegate this season. It was fun for me. Anybody that wins the league, it's your business.
It's your business. But okay.
We shall just do the weekend review, I beg.
Yeah.
What is your?
No, let's. So okay, so there were some interesting games or some interesting results, I should say. Fresh off destroying United, beat United 7-0. We all thought that Liverpool would beat Bournemouth, but Sheon actually felt that Bournemouth would do the job. And
I did not feel. I knew.
Oh my God.
I said this team. I
gave
understand
you
football.
Your props, so
I knew
you props. I gave you your props. But yeah, Bournemouth surprised Liverpool and they beat them 1-0. Everton also beat Brentford, which was a surprise considering how good Brentford has been lately. Leeds Brighton 2-2. Mitoma again, so still contributed to the goals. Chelsea have now won 3 straight games. They beat Leicester 3-1, and Enzo is looking. He's looking good. I mean, he's looking
good. Yep.
I don't know if he's still the 100+ million player, but he's looking really good. He's looking really good.
One day, you football fans would stop quoting a player's price tag as the motivating factor for a player, how good a player is or not, because the market is messed up right now. So
thanks to you guys, thanks to United when you pay 80 for players like Anthony. But go on.
So it's only Anthony that caused this whole imbalance.
Not chief
Chelsea in the past. Not Chelsea in the past.
He's a chief ingredient.
Okay.
In this period, over the last 2 years, is definitely one of the reasons. Well, let's keep going.
Okay.
Spurs beat Nottingham 3-1. City as in, I don't even know how they're able to do it, because anyway, when we say that club, I don't know whether they are paying referees, but that's fine. They'll say it's my bias take, but yeah, they beat Palace 1-0. And then Sunday, just another day in the office. Arsenal, just beat Fulham 3-0 very easily. It should have been more by the end of first half. Casemiro, I mean, the guy was in Madrid for how many years? Not one direct red card or straight red card. And United, the guy's discipline. Well, he's surrounded by amateurs. So, but yeah, 0-0 United Southampton. Villa West Ham 1-1. And then Newcastle beat Wolves 2-1. And then there were some midweek games. Brighton beat Palace 1-0, and then Brentford beat Southampton 2-0. So
Yep.
at the bottom of the table, it is looking very, very tight now. Like by the that battle for relegation is getting serious. A battle for
Yeah.
relegation is getting serious. Who do you
It's
think will
about
go down
five
real quick?
points. It's about 5 points between 12 and 20.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very
Yeah, it's very
difficult.
tight.
Yeah. So who do you think is going down? What teams do you think will go down?
Southampton is gone. I think they're gone. I think Bournemouth might follow,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't know what the third team will be, because I was the other day. I saw Leicester City up. I was like, oh, interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, those two. It's gonna
I
over those two.
I want Leeds to go.
Mm.
I want Everton definitely to go. And yeah, Bournemouth, man. I don't rate them.
But the question is not about the teams you want to go. If
Yeah,
that's the
no,
case,
that's the
then I
thing.
want I
So I
want
think
Wolves
I
to
think
go.
Everton I still think Everton will go down. I think
Okay.
Bournemouth to go down, and I think Leeds will go down.
So Southampton is staying.
I think Southampton can squeeze it. Yeah, I think they can do it.
Mm.
I think they can do
Okay.
it. And I say
Yes.
that out
So
of my support for Theo Walcott
of
and
course.
my Nigerian brother Onachukwude.
Paul, is Paul Onuachu, right?
Oh, now is it Onachu? I say Onachu. Onachu, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Paul
yeah,
Onuachu. So
yeah.
speaking of Liverpool, the reason why I knew Liverpool was going to lose that game was because one, like looking at EPL history, teams who win by a large margin tend to next game. Like they either win by maybe 1-0 or a struggle 2-1 win. The only teams that have done well winning by a large margin has been City. They're the only ones that you can say, okay, they won 7-0 this week. Next week, you're sure they're going to win.
And
Then couple with
Arsenal
the
in the
fact that
invincible days.
couple you guys don't win teams like that now. couple with the fact that yes, settled. They're trying to find their feet, but nah, they're not. They're not doing well. So yeah,
So even today, like you could see like flashes of brilliance here and there from them, but yeah, Liverpool is they are too old for the style of play that they want to play. I think.
did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah. So one thing first of all, you see how the Vinicius terrorized Trent.
yep,
That's what
yep.
this guy Rashford should have done, or Ten Hag. That's how Ten Hag should have set up your team for Rashford to do that day. But anyway, I mean, I was happy with that result. No, so Sheon, once again, I ask you. I know you said you don't care if United wins the league, but overall, would you say that Arsenal is the more deserving team between Arsenal and City to win the league? Based on
Nope,
like, why not?
definitely not. Like on what basis? Like you
What?
guys are not playing. Your football is not spectacular. Your football is just choreography. Choreography. Honestly, I don't know why teams fall for the same gimmick. This guy
It
gets
just
the ball,
shows.
Partey gets the ball, Odegaard passes to Saka or Martinelli. Martinelli or Saka pass the ball back and somebody kicks the ball. Or Saka tries to dribble one or two players. He uses left leg to shoot the ball, which Saka can even shoot the ball outside the box 18. And teams, I don't know why teams struggle against you guys. I cannot explain it, but
Watch my
it's
why
what
you
it
don't understand why
is.
they struggle. So a couple of things. I mean, what these players they train week in fact day in day out for in order to be able to have a pattern of play, style of play that they can implement on the pitch. So I don't understand what you mean by you don't understand why teams fall for that. Like that's what team chemistry is all about, no?
No problem. I'll give you guys this season. You guys are gonna win the league this
No, it's
season.
not
No
that
problem.
it's not in your powers to give. Like the boys are winning.
No, with the league, but next season you're definitely not replicating it.
Why
I'm
not?
telling you for a fact, because teams will know how to play you guys properly.
And you think that the team will remain stagnant? I don't understand.
Well, nothing new you guys are gonna be doing next season. There's nothing new.
That's
It's because it's the same. Because you guys don't have you don't have that. You only have plan A, and your plan A is very, like, as I said, it's choreography. But we'll see. It's just my prediction. You're not going to replicate this next season.
Speaking of choreographed play, but everyone, I mean, for at least 3-4 years, most of City's goals were down the touchline, squaring for tapping, and everyone knew that was what they were going to do, but you couldn't stop it because
so individually, those players, if you look at the league, always had the best players in every position. So that's a different, like, they are good individually and as a team. Like, there's no City player that cannot pass the ball and that cannot dribble 1v1.
I don't think that Arsenal players are like that. You don't think so?
Okay.
No.
So you think your players are one of the best, like, in the position in the league?
Yes.
I can do 1v1 and I can pass the ball.
First
those
of all,
three things.
Yes.
Those three things.
Yes. Wait. Now let's dissect it down. One-on-one take-ons and dribbles. Saka is number 1 in the league.
Saka is not number 1 in the league.
He is number 1 in the league, Sheon.
Okay, let's give Saka. Okay, who else?
And Martinelli is number 3. So let's not even, like, they take people on as in direct play. That's what.
So you mentioned 2 players. I'm talking about everybody in this team individually.
I'm sure
all the way to the defenders. Like, what a game on was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about it that each of these players can dribble and they can play as a unit. And I was just thinking about that. Even the defender midfielders. So don't just leave City.
But wait. I'm sure you know that, like, Zinchenko, like, is up there. I mean, nobody Patina is a standard bowler.
Okay.
Like,
so are you telling me that Arsenal as a team is better than?
I mean, the proof is we can see where both teams are point wise. So yes, I can categorically tell you right now.
We're using the team, right? We're using the points position as an argument.
We have to.
Okay. So when you guys were is it not 2 times or 5th 3 times? And you guys kept saying your team was good. So that
no, we weren't City good, but we should have those positions that we ended up at. We should have finished higher than those positions.
So right now, you guys are City good right now.
Yes, we are. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
City, they are performing at the levels that they've performed at over the past 4-5 years.
No, they're not performing at that level.
They
are not. Definitely not.
They are.
Definitely not.
I think it's just one season over the past 5 years that they have had more points than they've had right now.
And so also looking at is the fact that they've done this in the past 5 years. If you guys can replicate this next season, I'll give it to you guys.
You give
that's just my opinion. I'll give you guys are good. That you guys are City good.
Oh, so you're saying that City is a much better team than Arsenal? Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. Like, it's crazy. Like, in the past 5 seasons, even as Liverpool have tried, City have been the best team. Even when they were second,
No, so there are
they've been
two
the
arguments we're
best.
making here, though. No. So, obviously, consistency is one thing, but this season is Arsenal City good?
They're not.
Do you? Yeah. Huh?
They are not. They are definitely not. Like, let me tell you something. The
Yeah.
second team I hate the most
Mm.
in this life,
Mm.
actually, the team I hate the most in this life, in this world of sports in general, like polo, riding, basketball, anything, is Arsenal. Number 2 is Barcelona. Number 3, and for me to consider and say, okay, just leave them. Like you're about to say, a guy means allow your boss. Is City. Like I hate them so much. I used to hate Chelsea that way, but I'm like, it's just Chelsea. But City, like, because they are, so that hatred is just, trust me, when I'm saying this about Pep. So the manager I hate the most life is Pep.
Mm. Why?
And
Because
for
he
me to
has
now
beaten
say,
you so much.
no, because it's bad. So consider and say City is good. It says a lot about me.
Anyway, I just have one more question, and you never admit. I have one more question. If you had to pick, I saw this argument going on Twitter, and I said I will have to ask you this question: Bruno Fernandes and Odegaard, who would you rather have on your team? Who is the better player? Not even who would you rather have on your team. Who is the better player? You won't. Nothing will happen to you if you're honest. So you like just go ahead.
No, relax. It depends on where you're trying to play.
Oh
Honestly,
my days! Who is the
Odegaard is
better
very.
player?
It's not about who's the better player. Bruno is a better player. It's not.
Huh?
That's not even up for question. It's not up for grabs. He's a better player. Even your Ian Wright says the same thing.
Yeah, right. Said what?
Go and see how
He
it
said
was
what? No, please. He
funny.
said what?
It was
Tell me what he said.
funny about how much he loves Bruno. But here's my point. Here's
No,
my
you can
point.
love Bruno. Cheryl, don't.
Wait
There's probably a
now,
guy
let me
that
talk.
wait.
Are you gonna let me talk?
No, let me just say something real quick. That he
Okay.
loves Bruno doesn't mean that Bruno is better than Odegaard. I'm sure that there's a guy on your street in Lagos or wherever you grew up in Nigeria that you were like, oh wow, this guy is a fantastic football player, but he's not better than Odegaard. So
Okay.
that Ian Wright said that doesn't mean anything. But go on.
So we're comparing Odegaard to someone in Akute that I grew up. Is that that's
Bruno
how bad the guy
actually.
is?
No, Bruno.
Okay.
But go on.
So I'm telling you that Bruno, it depends on how you want to play. If there's nothing Odegaard wants to do for me, there's nothing. There's nothing. Even at Madrid, there's nothing you do for Madrid. But if it goes to Barcelona, yes, it's going to play well for them because that's how they play. But if Bruno goes to Barcelona, he will bump. But if he goes to Madrid, he will. So it depends on how you want to play. So it's not a matter of.
So you're saying that. Anyway, that's fine.
And as a United fan, Bruno, because you told me last week that you will pick Partey ahead of Casemiro. Like, you know how drunk you sounded.
I would
Anyways,
absolutely do
let's move on.
Speaking of
Let's talk
Casemiro
about
and Partey, let's go over to the Champions League because once upon a time we had Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid in the Champions League final. And honestly speaking, the Champions League has been one of the most interesting football tournaments, on the planet for some time. So anyway, yeah, man, I look forward to this conversation that we have, and I guess introduce our guest, please.
Yes, we have our first time I will concede that I have Oga in Real Madrid. This is the first time I will concede. We have Tolu, who is a staunch Real Madrid fan, and he's been a fan for how many years now, Tolu?
Bro, like 21 years.
21 years. So, ladies and we have Tolu in the house. Tolu, introduce yourself as you wish and as you like.
First of all, I want to thank both of you for the introduction because I feel I'm used to it. Like I said, I've been a Real Madrid fan for over 2 decades now, and I'm used to being disrespected, my club being disrespected. So, and I actually quite love it now. So I'm not used to somebody giving us our dues like this. So I want to off the bat, I want to say that I appreciate.
Oh, just only me.
No,
The
no,
other Asaf
Madrid.
has
I
never
mean,
won it before.
oh
There's never
my
won it before. You know when you don't won something before, when you know you entered Lamborghini before, you know how good it is. So it's only me.
No, listen.
Yeah. So I want that to be the first thing I say, that I appreciate the respect. I just appreciate it. I won't long talk it. I appreciate it. Oh, so you said I should introduce myself.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Tolu. Avid Real Madrid fan since way back when. My idol is Zidane. And my idol is my player idol is Zidane. My coach idol is Zidane. How many people can say that? That's levels. Yeah, and I watch. I'm a Real Madrid fan forever, but I watch every league, even I don't know any league. I have some form of at least small knowledge in, because I love the game. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
So just a quick question: will you consider Ronaldo a Madrid legend?
Is that a rhetorical question, or are you being serious?
No. I'm going somewhere. Just
of course. I mean, he's our highest goal scorer. Yeah. I mean, he's won more for us than anybody else. He's been with us longer than anybody else.
So do you think he's a United legend?
Yes.
How?
Okay. Wait now. It's not your question. Please. So do you think he's a Juventus legend?
The Juve one will be stretching it.
Thank you.
Okay.
The Juve one will be stretching it. Because when I think of legend of a club, not legend of the game, legend, because you can have a legend play for your club, but he will not be the legend of the club. So I feel like the time spent and trophies won times time spent equals legend.
And impact, yeah.
Juve, obviously he won domestically a few titles for them, and he did all he could to advance them in Champions League despite themselves. But again, I feel like the body of work is not extensive enough.
Okay.
In my opinion.
As a United fan, I definitely would agree that he's a United legend. But with the mere fact that he won Ballon d'Or, like that's enough. That's enough.
Yep.
And and at that age, nobody, like, there are very few players that can say they did that at that age.
Isn't he the last Premier League player to win the Ballon d'Or?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I mean,
anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, you're correct.
Wow. Okay.
Here's my question, and I've asked you off air, on air. I've asked you everywhere we meet. Why is Madrid playing so badly in your league, up to your league clubs, but when it comes to Champions League, they're playing so well?
So I think, it goes back to the very first statement I made when you introduced me. I think in the league, there's a certain level of respect that people play us with, and especially this season, we've had a hard time breaking down teams that sit in. Whereas in the Champions League, just take a look at Liverpool, both legs, and we prefer when a team wants to attack us, like a heavyweight fight, like blow for blow. Now who blow past? You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of game that we live for. And again, in the league, I'll use our last game against Betis, for example, or even the game before. Like teams that sit and play the other side of the game in terms of like tactical fouling and hitting in deep and breaking us on the counter or a set piece. Those are the teams that have to Exactly, I need both. And even you mentioned Cup, even Copa del Rey, Barcelona played us like that and they won.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so they played us like that and they won. So again, teams like that pay us that respect is always it's been difficult for us this season in that regard. But again, like look at the spaces that Liverpool in both legs they afforded to us. So, I mean, that's where we shine. So that's my um um like my explanation for it, and also coupled with the fact that Benzema hasn't been around for most of the game. He's always in and out. And even like if you look at I forget off the top of my head. I think he's played somewhere around out of our 25 games, maybe like 17, 18 maybe. Um, and obviously his output is still top level, but it's not always available. And maybe he just comes back and still trying to like shake the rust off and all that stuff because he's our most important player. Like he's like if he's not there, it's very very difficult for Madrid to be Madrid because of his style of play. So that and the respect that they pay us in the league is my explanation because we're even despite all this our struggles we still have the most goals in the league. The We are tied second in our defensive record with Atletico, I believe, and obviously Barcelona having a fantastic season defensively. So they are like eight. They have considered 8 less than us. So despite all of this, um, there are still some positives. But Barcelona's defensive record and the way they are like finding another way to play has been the difference, really.
So I have a question for you.
Wait, real quick.
Mm.
Speaking real quick, Sean, before you ask your question. So I know we talked briefly about legends. Would you say Gareth Bale is a Real Madrid legend?
Oh yes, 1,000%.
And I asked that, I mean, I agree, but Madrid fans generally, at least the ones in Spain, never seemed to embrace him. And I'm guessing it's because of Ronaldo, one. But then two, I remember that goal, the bicycle kicking in the final. And I mean, that was an out of this world like goal, but it still felt like Madrid fans just didn't appreciate that goal, the significance, and Gareth Bale in general. So I just wanted to get your sense of get a sense of what you thought of Bale as a Madrid player.
So I think I think it would be unfair to say like Madrid fans don't appreciate. I think there's a section of it that don't, and it's that section that usually get. I mean, obviously, is the negative stuff that gets more attention.
Yeah.
I think, and it's funny you mentioned that goal because that was the same season Ronaldo scored
Did Juve.
against Juve. I actually thought Gareth Bale's one was more difficult.
Better. Yep,
and
I
better.
agree.
Was more important.
No, it
More
was
important, better.
It was
The
better.
level of
technique.
difficulty. Yep. I mean, it was running forward, ran back.
He
The
had to
height
adjust
of the
himself.
cross.
Yep.
Like, because Marcelo crossed the ball with his right foot. Like,
it was harder for him.
It was harder.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I feel like with Gareth, a lot of the optics weren't in his favor. Like there was the rumor that he didn't want to learn Spanish. Then he went to LA and we found out that we could speak Spanish.
Yes,
and that
was crazy.
He always speaks Spanish with his teammates at Madrid. Nobody ever knew. I think the PR around him wasn't the best as well. And I mean, in football, I think one thing that I've learned over the years of watching even the little level that I play at, like talent is not enough. Like you have all the talent, but there are other things that have to go in your favor for you to be adored, for you to be liked, for you to be successful. So I feel like a lot of those other factors or other variables that he needed, he didn't have, and he didn't really have any interest of improving his image, to be honest, which I don't blame him for. But he's an absolute legend of the club, legend of the game.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I watched. I mean, I catch the games. What do you think the problem is because today's and it was a very good example where you guys created a lot of chances and you guys are not, or always like you guys are nearly there. What do you think the problem is, and what do you think the solution is?
Again, I think today, I mean, if you compare, say, the game against Betis versus today,
Or
like
Barcelona,
or Barcelona.
Copa
Okay,
del
let's
Rey.
use Barcelona, the last one that we lost one.
Yes.
If you use that game versus today against Barcelona, we didn't have a shot on target the
Yep.
whole game. And again, if you look at just how Barcelona played us that day versus how Liverpool played us today, I think the answer is right there. I felt like today we scored one, but we really should have scored 3 or 4. Against Barcelona, we didn't score any, and we didn't look like scoring any. So I think obviously I would have loved more goals today, but I wasn't as disappointed because even though it took us 80 minutes to finally score, I was happy with the quality of chances that we were creating, that we really should have scored some of them. And again, that's because Liverpool were obviously going for it, and it's in their nature to like go for it regardless, and that plays into our hand. So I feel like that's just it right there. Like I said earlier, all these games, it will be interesting to see how Barcelona play us this weekend. Now that they have like most of their first 11 back,
That's back.
but most of these games that we play in La Liga, these teams, especially if we don't score early enough to bring them out, the longer the game goes 0-0, the more confident they are in and the more disinterested they are in attacking. So again, like I said, this season we found it hard to. I mean, it feels like we found it hard to break teams down like that, but it's just really, I mean, in the grand scheme of the season, it's just unfortunate because at the expense of that, Barcelona are winning their games 1-0, but it feels like it's been going on the whole season, but it really hasn't. Like teams have been playing like that, us like that all season, and we've been like more often than not scoring late goals. Like you see a Madrid result, we won 3-0, and all 3 goals came after the 80th minute, or we won 2-0,
Yes.
and all 2 stuff like that. Those goals, and again, some of those games, Benzema wasn't around and stuff like that. So those goals are just not happening right now, which is disappointing. And maybe another thing is fatigue because no other team has played more games than us this season. So that's another factor that I guess in top 5.
A combination of all.
Yeah, in combination, no team has played more up to.
They have to do Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Copa del Rey.
Yeah, more than United.
They've played a lot of games.
We've played a lot of games, including Club World Cup as well.
Club World Cup, yeah.
So
interesting. Okay, so my next question is, what is the way forward for Madrid when Modric and Kroos?
Why are you acting like you didn't see my boy today?
Camavinga.
Which of your boys?
Oh my God, I was watching Camavinga. I was happy for. I feel like T.O.W.N, I mean, he had injuries and he will come back. I'm not worried about T.O.W.N. I feel like because of his style of play, it's not difficult to get his form back because his style of play is winning the ball back easy. You know what I mean? Like
Party-esque, yeah.
So Camavinga, who's been there like a season before, I feel, and obviously he's been because of our injury problems, he's played like left back, and even last season up till maybe first half of this season, like Don Carlo hasn't really trusted him enough because, like, say the games he'll start, he'll pick up an early yellow, and by halftime or 50th minute or 60th minute it's off. But like seeing him, and we kind of like like Don Carlo was kind of forced into this situation in terms of like the injuries and all, and we had to play him, and I was happy because he has he looks so confident. He looks so sure of himself. It helps that you have Kroos and Modric. I don't know if you've heard of them. By your side, it helps. But
so my question is, when those 2 guys retire, so are you saying you will be as good as you are and your style will remain the same with those 2 players and T.O.W.N?
I don't know if our style remain the same or not? Like, because I mean, there are not too many
You
Kroos
can't. Yeah. Yeah.
or Modric's in the world. I feel like, if anything, just because of how he runs with the ball, Kamavinga, he may be more, but he may have like Modric-ish elements, but maybe not obviously as not yet anyway as decisive as Modric has been in his career. But I feel like when those two retire, I'm very happy with the strategy, the recruitment strategy of getting all these guys, Tchouameni and Camavinga in particular, and
You still have Freddy Valverde as well.
I was getting there. Valverde is like he's our fixer upper. Like any issue on the field, just put Valverde there. You know what I mean? But we have Valverde who can play like pretty much anywhere.
I enjoy watching him.
But don't you think him being able to play like a lot of position affects how good he can be?
Not necessarily.
I don't think so, because I think, again, I guess more praises to Carlo Ancelotti's. You can tell like he's playing under instructions, and same thing with Tchouameni. Because of how he plays, I feel like it should just work, because he plays with precision, speed, and power.
Yeah.
Now those three elements can work anywhere on the field.
Yeah.
So again, but he obviously can play in midfield. That's where he started. And obviously, me personally, I want us to keep Ceballos, because he has shown that he can perform in that jersey and under those lights.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want Jude Bellingham. I want Jude Bellingham because, again,
are you so greedy? Why am I like?
Yeah, Jude Bellingham fits your style.
It fits our style, and I feel like because of his mentality, like he has this confidence, like no matter what's happening, like even against Chelsea,
big team mentality. Yeah,
exactly. He wants the ball. He doesn't hide from the ball. Those are the kind of players
that you want.
I like players that dare, like
Saka.
Unlike Pogba. Anyway, Saka. So my next question is: so this is history. This is what's it called? Heritage. Your midfield three: Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets or Busquets or whatever you pronounce his name.
Like, who do I prefer?
No. Of course, you prefer those your three. But who do you think? Who do you think is
a better trio?
Okay, I'm going to ask you in two parts. Who are the better football? I would say output.
Period.
Yeah, football period. Who enjoyed football more, and who's better?
So, I mean, me personally, and it may sound biased, I think it's really neck and neck, because as great as those Barcelona trio are, I feel like, okay, I'll put it this way, like, they are obviously better as a trio in terms of like passing the ball, like amongst themselves, but they are in nowhere. Like, for example, using one of the trios in both trios, like Busquets and Casemiro, both like in their primes, the best around at that DM position. Busquets is very, very, very good on the ball, like exceptional on the ball. Casemiro is decent, not at Busquets level, right? He's all right on the ball. Like, I think he's just getting his praise, like now, or like of what he's been doing forever on the ball. But if in the defensive aspect, obviously Busquets cannot even chat to Casemiro in terms of like sniffing the ball and positional play and winning the ball back and stuff like that. So I mean, to answer your question, it really comes down to preference. Because another aspect you have to remember is those three are Spanish people. Like they are actually Spanish, so they play together they're in their club. They came up together. They play together in their club, and they play together in their national team. Now you have one Brazilian, one Croatian, and one German, and
That makes sense.
look at the success they had as well. So I feel like, I mean, not taking it. It's not Barcelona's trio's fault that they are of the same nationality. But again, I feel like considering all those things and how good that team was compared to like Madrid at that time, the level of difficulty was more on the Madrid trio, and they still were able to find success, especially in the Champions League, obviously, and despite Barcelona paying the refs.
Thank you for even bringing that up. I was about to ask you that. So we'll get to that. But so the reason I asked that question is I don't want to look at the players individually. I want us to look at the whole, because obviously if you're picking, like if you're nitpicking, Iniesta is better than Modric. Xavi is better than Casemiro is better than Busquets in that position. But as a collective, they find a way to, a way to like make things work. Because I would say for me personally, this is my own opinion. You need you need good passers of the ball around you to make that midfield three of Barcelona work.
Yeah.
But with Barcelona, you just need average players who are like good runners of the ball. That's all you need. You don't need it to be spectacular. They will find you and they would make things work for you. That's just my opinion. Obina, how do you think?
I mean, yeah, no. So the system of play really matters that the club is trying to implement, right? Barcelona, obviously La Masia, Tiki Taka. So you had to have those players who are exceptional on the ball, who can keep the ball for very, very long periods. Madrid, on the other hand, they've always played like fast, quick counter attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really need. I mean, you need one or two. Not one or two. Well, you don't need, like, the emphasis is not as much on short, passes with quick short passes. You can, for example, Xavi didn't do as many wing to wing switches, or crosses. Whereas with Modric and Cruz, I mean, those are their specialties, right? Cruz is Mr. Pinpoint. Iniesta is more of a ball carrier. You could get that with Modric, but he didn't have the range of passing that Modric does. It just depends on the system. But again, I mean, obviously, even though I prefer the Barcelona way of playing, I mean, I have to give props to the Madrid guys. They're excellent. And Modric, I mean, we knew Modric from his Tottenham days. We saw him and we were like, okay, this guy is quite good. But I mean, during his time at Madrid, he has just gone from strength to strength. And even Cruz, because when he went to Madrid from Bayern, there was the idea that, like, I mean, he's kind of like, towards the end of his career, he won't, but like he has been going from strength to strength, like at Madrid, like. So well done to all the Madrid coaches, Zidane, Ancelotti.
So, but you also look at it is you can drop those three in any team and they will play.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think in comparing both those trios, I feel like like in terms of, like Obina mentioned, the style of play. Say Barcelona trio comes like play in that Madrid team. I feel like they have what it takes to play that style of play that Madrid played, in terms of like quick counter, quick like passing, along more direct passing and whatnot. And I feel like, again, like if you watched our whole run to the trophy last season, the Champions League trophy last season, and say periods of the Liverpool game today and the first leg, if we need to keep the ball, we know how to keep the ball, guys. So it really is what you prefer at the end of the day.
Yeah. I feel like, as I said, you can drop them anywhere and they'll ball.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So, what is your favorite Champions League memory as a mad? I mean, I know you guys have had
Oh
way
my
too
God.
many, but is there any like run, in the past 20 years that has stood out to you and has made you say, "Yeah, my team is actually all right." I'll say mine because obviously, I mean, I'm not a Madrid fan. There have been many, obviously, but last season's one was incredible
I mean,
because yeah,
I
go on.
mean, that's very, very a very difficult question. I say that with pride. I say that with the utmost pride. Obviously, everybody goes to last season because recency bias, right? And
No, I wasn't basing it off of recency bias. I was basing it off of the fact that like you guys looked dead and gone in
there
like
are most games.
in most games.
Yeah. So again,
You guys started with he lost to Sheriff. Do
I
you know
mean,
that season?
yeah.
That's
exactly.
how you guys started.
I mean, don't mind those.
They weren't even going to make it. Sorry, you weren't even at a point. It looked like you were not going to make it out of your group.
Yeah. Well, that was early though. I think
That's
that
what
That
I'm
was.
was
saying.
early,
It
yeah, yeah.
looked like that. That's insane, man.
I
But
think.
go
I
on.
think. I mean, to answer your question, which Champions League memory? I feel like I would probably, if I had to pick one, in terms of memory, not run, like memory,
Memory, yeah. No,
I'll
not
have
wrong.
to go with the Zidane volley in 2002.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that
Yeah,
was
that was
I had
memorable.
just become a Madrid fan at that time, and I remember that game. Like I remember where I was in Surulere watching that game. I remember the play by play. Like I remember nobody even talked about the first goal, which was Raul.
Raul, yeah.
I remember that game. I think that I feel like because of it was early in my Madrid Champions League time
Thorough. Mm.
period, whatever. I think that if I have to pick one, I have to pick that in terms of memory. Now, run is a different Champions League. I mean, it got to a stage where, like, for example, the Champions League draw is on Friday. I actually prefer to play a big name. Like I don't mind City again. I don't mind Bayern. I don't care, to be honest. I say this because like I'm not saying this with pride as well. We'll beat anybody. We'll beat anybody. Obviously, realistically, anybody can beat anybody, especially when you get this late into Champions League. I just prefer it that way because of number one, something I mentioned earlier, where I don't want a team that will sit back and pay us too much respect. I want a team that feels confident that they can beat us, because that's the way we'll have a chance as well, or more of a chance. Where it's like, okay, we're going to play against a team that's not going to sit back. Let's go, win, lose or draw. Let's go. I will enjoy that more. But we've always played big guys. Like, okay, last year, yes, we beat PSG, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. 2018, when we won it, we beat PSG, Juve, Bayern, Liverpool. 2017 was Napoli, Bayern, Atletico, Juve. Like, we are used to these. Even that 2002 that I mentioned as my best memory, we played Bayern, Barcelona, Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Like, so it was. I mean, it's very, very hard to pick like a run as that has been my favorite. Maybe I'll say, you know what? I'll say last year because, like I said earlier, I feel like most times like we don't necessarily get like respect or fear or like as to like Real Madrid, it might go either way. They always like, oh, this person are favorites against Madrid, that person are favorites against Madrid. I feel like last year was particularly more than usual. I can't say that I don't understand why, but again, it just felt different last season. Where it's like, and you know what's funny? Like I was watching, like I said, I mean, I watch football and post game, pre game, everything football. And again, I was watching some of the post game analysis from CBS here in America. And again, they were asking all the pundits who they think would win it. They were going City or Bayern. They even mentioned Napoli. Nobody mentioned Madrid. I'm like, here we go. All right, here we go. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like last year will probably be my favorite run just because it was more recent and the the hate was a little more than usual.
Yeah.
So
So
fun fact. Hold on.
go on.
Sorry. Fun fact. My first Champions League match that I watched was that Bayern Leverkusen. That was my
Wow.
first. Yeah, that was my first Champions League game that I watched.
Wow.
Yeah,
we
I'm that young.
appreciate your audience that day.
I'm that young. When I saw the goal, I was like, "How is this possible? Like, how did this guy do this?"
No, all I want to the matchup I want to see this season is Madrid Bayern. I want to actually see how you guys will navigate because Bayern is looking really, really strong this season.
Nope. Bayern is not looking strong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Bayern is struggling. I told you at the beginning of this our podcast now that I don't understand what's going on with Bayern. And I made
don't
mention
agree
of
with that. Look at
Madrid
how
too.
they brushed PSG aside. They've only considered one goalie. No, I mean in the Champions League. But in the Bundesliga, I mean, I don't obviously they're expected to win it every year. But then I mean, even if you give other teams like 10 points from the start or like 15 points even, Bayern will catch them. So like they don't need to do too much in the Bundesliga. But in the Champions League, I think they've only considered one goal this season.
Yeah.
Like, and they've won other games.
They've won, yeah. So like you can't say they've not been playing well. I think that I want to actually see them play Madrid this season or City. I think those will be good matchups. I still want Napoli to go far, but I don't know that they can win it. But I'm happy
I feel so. Here's my hot take. First things first, they are not so out of 100% of how good they are this season. They're like 73, both of them. 73.
I would agree.
73, both of them. Napoli is like touching 90 of how good they can be and how they're that explosive. If Napoli has the experience to navigate getting to the final, I think they have the ability to win it. But
You see, that second part of that your statement, right?
that experience,
that's the difference. That pedigree, that know-how. That's the look like. I mean, obviously, not so we don't use Madrid. I don't keep using Madrid as an example. That PSG Bayern game, especially the second leg, was a great example of what a team with Champions League pedigree is like. The way they managed that game, like especially in the second half, I don't think Messi and Mbappe touched the ball more than 5 times. And again, it comes with that know-how. That know-how, man. You have to earn your stripes, man. I feel like think about since we've been watching Champions League. Like, say, okay, let's even start with since we both referenced it, Sharon. Let's start with 2002 when Real Madrid won it in 2002. How many teams in that space have won the Champions League once, like in that space? There are just a handful of teams. Most of the teams that have won it in this 20, 21 year span are teams that know how to win it. The only AC Milan won twice in the 2000s and lost to one in the final against Liverpool. Porto, excuse me, won.
Both won it once,
Then Inter won it once.
Yeah.
Those were like Porto and Inter actually are the only 2 teams in the last 21 years to have won the Champions League only once in that period. And guess who their manager was in both teams?
Crazy manager.
so I say that to say like Champions League pedigree that like people always throw about, like it's a real thing, man. Like you have to know how to do this thing. And I feel as exciting as Napoli are, I feel like that's where, I mean, if they win it will obviously be an anomaly.
Yes, definitely.
Again, you just expect
they have to win it. I think they can, but just need to know how to navigate because those guys.
I mean, at this stage, anybody can. But
they catch on a good day.
If
they catch on a good day,
they would. Is the thing. Even like for example, you mentioned like I think I agree with your stance where it's like, I mean, you have to, especially with Bayern, you have to consider that their own struggling is very relative. Like they're struggling, but they've only still lost 2 games in the league. It's
Yeah.
the draws that have been killing them. So their struggling is
Yes.
very relative. You can't use their struggling to judge anybody else.
Mhm.
But as much as they're struggling, right, and Napoli just looks so exciting and solid in both ends of the field, where it's like they're good defensively, they have good defensive players, and obviously they have Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen up top, and the players that support them. Like, I would still expect Bayern to do the job against them, or Real Madrid to do the job against them, or all these teams to do the job against them, just because of know-how. It's just like boxing, right? I don't watch boxing often, but I always use boxing as an example. You can have a young, like, exciting fighter who knows how to combo, always offensive, and you can just have the experienced heavyweight, maybe older, but knows his way around the ring, knows like, okay, I can't be following this guy to be throwing punches, because that's his strength, and buy your time, and then land quality punches. That's how I see the Champions League, where it's like, no matter how young and exciting a team is, just like a fighter, when you meet your guy, you have to think it well. You have to know how to win. You can't just go and just say, "Oh, we'll play our game," and that's the mistake that people were making last season against Real Madrid, and this Liverpool made that same mistake in the first leg. Like, you can't be playing us like that. Like, don't you know your mates? Like, you can't be like, even when we don't deserve to, we have players that have been around the world and back twice. So, like, you have to, like, kind of like, change, like, not change your game plan, but just be wary, be careful, don't get overly excited. And I feel like that is easier said than done, and it only comes with experience.
Yeah. Well, now thanks for talking about Madrid. Like, I guess not many people on the show, not many of our audience watch a lot of Madrid games. So thanks for coming in to provide insight. And then, as always, we'll just go over the upcoming games for the weekend. Quick predictions, and then that'll be it for the show. So, this is the last round of games before the international break. I think the last international break for the before the end of the season. So, we have one game on Friday. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. Predictions?
I see. Me personally, I think Newcastle wins it. 2-0. I said 2-0.
I see Newcastle winning too.
Newcastle, okay. Yeah, Newcastle has to win this. Yeah.
Even though Nottingham Forest is pretty good at home, like, they are a very, very good team at home. I mean, not very, very good, but better than they are at home. Yeah,
you're right. Then we have Villa Bournemouth on Saturday.
I see Bournemouth has been playing well, but I see a draw.
To be honest, I like that
Matchup.
That prediction. I can't
draw,
because I feel like Aston Villa should win, because I like the way they play. I like Unai Emery's. They play exactly how Villarreal played when he was their manager.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Like,
yes.
I see similarities all the time when I watch them play. So, but I don't know if they are in the best of forms. But they should win. But I can easily see a draw because of Bournemouth's form as well, and obviously they have something to fight for.
I see a Villa win, but yeah. So okay, that's that game. Then we have Brentford Leicester.
That's a solid one. Very explosive game. I would love to watch that game. I'm not sure. I would pick Brentford to win.
Yeah, I'll pick Brentford too, because I feel like Brentford are, like, they know who they are, and you can see who they are when they play every time. And they won today. Like, I think they played today and they won.
Yeah, they beat.
So I feel like,
and they're playing at home.
They're playing at home. Yeah, I think and they're not far off a European spot. and they have a
Yeah.
game in hand. So
Yeah.
I'll pick them to, and obviously on the other side, Leicester being Leicester this season. I'll pick Brentford to continue their form.
Brentford, yeah. And then Southampton, Tottenham.
I don't see a reason why Tottenham not win this game. I don't see a reason why they will not win.
Me, I can see you.
I can see they are playing away. That's enough reason.
And I know they are struggling. Like they surely cannot afford to lose this game. Surely, like that would be.
Sure, I think again, I don't think any of us disagree with you, but what will actually happen, knowing Tottenham, is really up in the air. It's really up in the air. Yes, they should be spanking them left, right, and center, but will they? Find out more on Saturday.
Yeah, Spurs, they've been moving funny, but I think they should be able to do it. I truly think they should be able to do it.
I say they win it too. I think this kind of games, Harry Kane will pop up and get a brace or something. Then Son will score, or Richarlison will score, something like that.
Yeah, Wolves Leeds.
Wolves.
Yeah, that's say Wolves.
I say Wolves too, but that would be a good game because
that'd be a very good game.
I feel like, I mean, any game against Leeds, I think is always a good game because of the way Leeds play, very direct, and they go for it all the time. And Wolves again, La Liga manager Lopetegui, he took that team from bottom of the table to what, 12th? Where are they?
They're currently they're sitting pretty nice in the league now.
Yeah, they're 13th.
Yeah, they're 13th, right?
So
13th, yeah.
I mean, I'll back them.
They've tried though.
Yeah.
No, he has done a good job, Lopetegui. And then Chelsea, Everton.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Who's home? Chelsea's home?
Chelsea's home, yeah.
I'll go for a draw.
Chelsea are looking nice now.
Chelsea are looking nice, but look at the games that they're looking nice at. I don't know. I still feel like the fact that they don't have against a striker, against a traditional like English side like Everton, and also Everton having like a lot to play for as well, and you can tell that Everton have improved defensively since Sean Dyche came to their team. Again, with a team that looks decent defensively in the last couple of games, against a team that just found their scoring form but still not playing with a respectable 9. I don't know. I feel like a draw. If Chelsea win, it'll be narrow, but I see all this and Chelsea can go and win 4-0. Who knows? But on paper, in terms of like what I've seen, eye test, I don't know. I'm leaning towards a draw or a slim Chelsea win.
I won't feel like Chelsea can.
You feel like they can win?
I'm telling you.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I know that I feel like Sean Dyche is not going to go out there and play expansive football. He's not. He's going to be very pragmatic. And when you have a pragmatic team, it's usually precision and like being being clinical that kind of makes a difference. And obviously, we know that Chelsea haven't been clinical yet. So I feel like that matchup will be very interesting to see. But I say draw, Sha.
You say draw?
Yeah, I say draw.
Okay. Arsenal Palace on Sunday.
That's a good one. Shell, what do you think?
Don't ask me, please.
Okay, I know. I think we know what that means.
No, of course.
Yeah, I think Arsenal, that means they're playing at the Emirates, right?
Emirates, yeah. That's a dope. I mean,
I think Arsenal wins. I think I don't know. Yeah, I think because why I'm hesitating is Crystal Palace have the potential to just be disruptors on their day. So that's why I'm like, you know what? But again, they're not on great run of form. Arsenal actually bouncing high from beating Bournemouth the way they did and beating Fulham as well, convincingly. Jesus back on the bench. I feel like he's written for Arsenal, to be honest.
You have to give my boys their 3 points.
Yeah, I think he's written for them.
Sheldon, I
So-
haven't heard you though.
I said Arsenal, please.
Oh, okay.
Please. Barcelona, who's winning?
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
So, again, obviously, it would be nice for us to win. I think it's going to be a draw. That's my fear, right? And with Madrid, like, obviously, it's always very, very hard to predict because obviously of the emotions involved. But Barcelona just don't need to lose, right? They just don't need to lose against us. And with the last Clásico, in Copa del Rey still in mind, knowing that they have the capacity to play in that fashion that I mentioned earlier that has been difficult for us in terms of like sitting down. They have a world-class goalkeeper, very good defensive line. It's going to be I think it's going to be a draw, or this what always happens where it's like we'll create chances and whatnot, and they'll just pounce on a few chances and game over. But I feel like it's going to be a draw, unfortunately. Obviously I would want us to win. On our day we beat them easily. Like on our day, if we show up right. Benzema was limping today. I was praying to God that it wasn't serious because obviously, like I said, he's focal to our identity. So if we play the way I know we know how to play this, and we've shown this season, and Militao and Rudiger looking like they know what they are doing as a partnership, I fancy our chances. But again, Barcelona have conceded 8 goals, man. 8 goals. So I don't know. And 3 of the 8, yes, were to Madrid in the first league meeting, but still, I don't know. My mind is telling me a draw, but
Okay.
hopefully we win, Sha.
I think Barcelona is going to win that game. So just
Wait, you can't just say that and just say so.
I don't need to. There's nothing to be said now. As far as I'm going to beat you guys.
Okay.
So one word, just one word. Who's winning EPL?
Arsenal.
One word, Aston. Who's winning La Liga?
Barcelona.
Okay, that's all.
You're trying to make sure we not sleep well tonight.
Yeah, Arsenal. I heard your conversations earlier as to is Arsenal City level this season and whatnot. And I think I agree with Obi. Like the one thing you cannot like fake is league points. League points are very, very telling. You cannot win league by accident. You cannot be leading by accident. Obviously, to this point, the league is not over. And I feel like that Bournemouth game was huge because the last thing you want is to be only 2 points or 3 points ahead of City. That's the last thing you want.
Yep.
Because those guys can go on and win 17 straight
Yep.
in the league.
Yep.
But obviously and Arsenal has scored almost as many goals as City in the league.
I think it's like 5 or 6. Behind.
Yeah, so I mean, proof is in the pudding. I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it. Lord knows they deserve it so far. But again, the league the league is 1/38 games. So we'll see how I think as big as that Bournemouth win was, I feel like the Fulham win was equally as big because I was looking at that game, that Bournemouth game, and you can go both ways. You can say, wow, great team spirits, great mentality. Arsenal has grown a lot as a team to be able to come from 2-0 down and nick a win. This is stuff of champions. And you can also say, that's another game that Arsenal struggled to win. And like, how long can they keep doing this? So that next game was very, very important to put out a statement like, yo, we're not no fugazi here, we are here. So that convincing win at Fulham was big for them, and I feel like that was a good sign to me as a neutral watching. Like, okay, you guys are serious.
Business.
Yeah, you guys are serious. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a lovely conversation.
You don't want to ask Brighton man.
That is
No,
Who's
it's
breaking?
listener. No, there's FA Cup.
yeah, there's FA Cup.
Yeah, there's FA
Yeah.
Cup. Yeah, there's FA
Yeah.
Cup.
Hang on, so Man U is not playing this weekend.
No.
No, we are
Okay.
playing Fulham. We are playing Fulham in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all the
Yeah.
best. All
No.
the best.
We only focus on the league here, at least with respect to the predictions. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, Tolu. And Sheon, you've heard what the man predicted. Arsenal, Barcelona win. So I don't know what you do with yourself, but good luck.
Nah,
All right,
thanks.
guys.
This was fun. I enjoy. I mean, anytime, I can talk football all day, all day. So anytime. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure. All right, guys. Until next week, keep watching, and yeah, that's it from me. Share anything.
Thank you all for your prayers.
And your
Please,
prayers.
your prayers have reduced a little bit. I felt it that it has reduced. Increase that prayer. The Bible says, just keep firing, keep firing. We need your
All right,
prayers.
sir.
Your prayers.
I feel like you're
All right.
transitioning to another podcast right now.
All right, bye, guys.
Yeah,
All
bye.
right.